Hello everyone, this is David, the Fairly Secret Music, and this is my reaction or response video to John's not quite 1,000 subs contest. So, this is him telling you about bands that he doesn't quite dig yet.
So yeah, Motley Crue. If anything pops up of theirs, I've actually unfollowed their stuff. That's how much.
That's so great. So he did a video about bands he didn't like anymore. I'm going to tell you about John's, or Vinylizer is what he goes by. I'll leave a link to his channel right below. So, he recently did a top 5 bands list. Well, it turned into a top 6 bands list, actually, because he had to get Ozzy out of the running. So I decided I would go through the bands that he digs, so you know what kind of music he's into. Ozzy was number 6 in his top 5. Go figure. So, apparently Ozzy dropped down from like 4 or 3 or something like that, but realized that Ozzy hasn't done a lot of good stuff in like 20 years or so. I'm going to say this is my favorite Ozzy album outside of the Black Sabbath stuff. His number 5 band, which I could almost feel that he was having a hard time saying that this band was number 5, is Def Leppard. This is my favorite album, Hysteria, by Def Leppard. I know a lot of people would be like, what the hell? But it is what it is. For a long time, this was the only one I owned. I still only own Pyromania. But this is one of Vinylizer's favorite bands, and they dropped to number 5. I think because they got beaten out by Megadeth, which this album and this album are tied for number 1 for Megadeth for me. You know why? Because they both have Gar Samuels and Chris Poland, who I think were the best drummer and second guitarist that Megadeth ever had. His new number 3 band is Iron Maiden, and that's right, I love the first Iron Maiden album over all other Iron Maiden albums. Paul Di'Anno had such energy, and I really like his Battlezone albums too. If anybody has Children of Madness out there on CD that they want to get rid of, I might be interested if the price is right. Excuse me. I know John had just seen Iron Maiden. He said that he's lately been listening to live Iron Maiden over studio albums, which is kind of odd for him. But that's what his number 3 is. His number 2 is Judas Priest. Honestly, Judas Priest are one of those bands that I've had all their stuff, decided I didn't really get into it. I've tried to possibly get some stuff. You know, every once in a while I think, okay, is it time for me to like Judas Priest now? This is the only album I own by them, Painkiller. I think this album is probably Rob Halford's vocal best, because I really like how he sings on One Shot at Glory, especially the I Can Hear the Banners Fly section. That is so great. Number 1 on John Vinylizer's list is Whitesnake, and this is my favorite album by Whitesnake. It's so good. It has that old school feel of Whitesnake and the new school feel coming in. And especially if you get this version, you get the American versions of songs and the UK mix before they added John Sykes. Oh, shoot, I was going to grab a Blue Murder thing to say, because John also did a video recently that was bands that did not get talked about very much, and my band would be Jellyfish. His band was Enough's Enough, but I don't own any Enough's Enough because I don't really like Enough's Enough. Strength is the only one I've owned recently, and I listened to it a few times, and I was like, yeah, this really doesn't do anything for me. But I thought, well, John, if you've never heard Jellyfish, this is their first album, Belly Button, and this is their second album. It's called Spilt Milk. If you like the poppiness of Enough's Enough, you like the Beatles influence of that Enough's Enough has, totally check out Belly Button. I think you will enjoy it a lot. I don't even know if John's going to watch this, but hopefully he will. So, let's talk about, and Enough's Enough was one of the bands that he doesn't buy stuff from because Donnie V is not in the band anymore. He also did another video where he talked about bands that he doesn't like new stuff by them, so he just kind of has given up on them. One of those bands was Metallica, and these are my two favorite Metallica albums, Kill 'Em All and Injustice for All. And Injustice for All, one day, those guys won't have control over their shit anymore. Somebody like Andy Sneap will get a hold of it, mix it with the bass back in, and I know Rob said, yeah, but then it's different. Well, fine, it is different. You've had this one for 30 years. Give me one that has bass. I want the frickin' bass. All right. Another band he said he would not get anything else by is ACDC. Honestly, I stopped buying ACDC stuff after Back in Black. I don't really like Brian Johnson as much as Bon Scott. And, oh, this still has a used sticker on it. I found a bunch of these used. These are my two favorite. This one because it has Highway to Hell and Girls Got a Rhythm. And this one because Dirty Deeds and Big Balls. The other band that he said he won't do anything else by is Heart. Apparently Nancy's new husband tried to beat up Anne's son or something like that. I'm not sure what that was all about, but this is the best album in my opinion. It's got Crazy on You and Magic Man. They were so great. And I'm sorry, but, you know, Nancy Wilson, damn, she's hot. Kiss. Oh, Kiss is another band he will not buy new stuff from. These are my favorite two albums by Kiss. Not necessarily because I like every song on it, but because of the opening tracks on both of them. This one has Exciter. This one has I've Had Enough, Into the Fire. Two of the greatest Kiss songs ever, and guess who they're sung by? That's right, Paul Stanley. Oh, I got a band t-shirt on. I forgot about that. And the last band that he said he didn't like the later stuff of was Motley Crue, and this is their best album, and Nikki Sixx doesn't even play bass on it, in my opinion, because that doesn't sound like him. There's no way he played bass on it, and I think they just had a studio bass player. That's my opinion. Also, forget that. So I forgot I was going to show these bands in order of how I liked them best. So Judas Priest would be my number 6. Then Def Leppard. Then Def Leppard. Then Ozzy. Then Iron Maiden. Then Megadeth. And number 1 would be Whitesnake. Yeah, baby! So go to John's Vinylizer's page and subscribe and let him know I sent you. And I hope you enjoy his videos. All right.